Good morning, guess where I am again? Guess where I'm starting the journey? There's a hint over my shoulder. Yep, I'm back at the airport. Currently heading to the train terminal, quick as I can, to get the nearest and dearest and quickest train down to the old Big Smoke in London. Definitely gonna need this. Yellows.
Get now, if you're joining, let's get in now. The train's leaving now.
Busy. Well, that was cutting it fine. I literally got shouted at to get on the train. No doors are open further down, so it was like, quick, get on, everyone, we're leaving. You haven't got a choice, get on. See it, say it, sort it. That's what they say on these trains. Make sure there's nothing weird going on. No bags left anywhere, hey? You want to protect each other, look out for one another. I have no idea how Pepto-Bismol managed to get their adverts on these trains. Look, if you got nausea, indigestion. I've been stuck indoors for 3 days, waiting for UPS, broadband, my mum. Bless my mum, I love my mum. But I need to get out, so I've got out. I'm going big. I've got the sling in the bag. Don't have to wear the sling all the time, regardless of what people say, Debbie, but it's good to have it. Anyway, mobility is back. I've got my stitches out today. Look at that, that's a bit gross, isn't it? But there you go, lumpy bumpy. We're heading down to Liverpool Street in London via the beautiful Essex and Hertfordshire countryside. Here's the castle. Look at that, Stanson Mount Fidget Castle. Anyway, it's a bit of a rough plan. These are going to be 2 videos I'm doing today. One is a general sort of South Bank stroke Old London area, City of London as it's traditionally known, that mile area. So I'm getting off at Liverpool Street, heading round, showing some of the main sort of tourist locations around there, and then heading to something spookier, the Clink Museum down in Southwark, although really my main reason to get out is just to stretch these old legs, these old withered legs, and this definitely withered arm. I have lost muscle. It's amazing, 2 weeks to not using your arm. It's crazy. Just want to get active and get out. Look at that, I'm packing my very fetching, newly acquired £2, probably vintage now, Walt Disney World bag that I picked up. £2. Look at that, perfect size. You won't not be able to see me with this on, eh?
We'll sort it. See it, say it, sort it.
Nothing like London, Liverpool Street. I haven't been here in years. I mean years. This was my go-to when I used to come down and see gigs, come to London on my own, whatever, meet mates. Pro tip, by the way, whenever you come and you jump into a London Underground or a London station, just make sure if you need the loop, use the train before you get in, because you're probably paying for the one in this station. Still got the same McDonald's from all those years ago. Right, so we're in central London. What is that thing? This is how long I haven't been here. What is this? Right, okay, I'm guessing when they built the Elizabeth line this came up, because that's news to me. I've already done it. I've made myself walk too quick. It's the London walk. As soon as you hit on these streets, you feel like you have to get everywhere in a hurry. Let me show you around. The old famous London black cabbies. A bit different these days, the old electrics. Or the new electrics. So we are right in the centre of London, the financial district. Big skyscrapers, look at these. Not much changes around here except things get bigger and taller, I'll tell you that much. But then next to it, old Bishopsgate. You are technically in the City of London here. Look, the ward of Bishopsgate. So we're down right in the old square, sort of mile as such, as we call it. Look at this. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I love about the City of London, where the old architecture meets the new. I mean, you look up, you're in New York, you look down, you're here, back in England. And these definitely were not here when I was a kid, when I used to come down in the 90s. I mean, literally, we're straight in New York now, aren't we? Modern, modern, modern. Old. Beautiful, huh? Look at this. We're heading down Leadenhall Market. I'm going to show you the sights and sounds of a very pretty, ornate looking area where typically we get a lot of tourists. But check this out. Straight out the Knights Templar, medieval. Completely different to what's behind you. The Gherkin. This is an even better example when you pan across from medieval architecture to this. This is called the Gherkin, as we call it. It's actually 30 St Mary Axe, that's the address, but the Gherkin building, and any London tourist dudes will be able to see that from any location on the river, on the South Bank. Quite the architectural marvel. It's Friday, we got all the office workers just finishing up their jobs. What an incredible structure. And they will all be down by the bars paying for their £10 pints and £10 portion of chips for the head home, all lively and merry before they start it all again. Let's head through here, the Leadenhall building. Just got my first little wave, my little fan wave of the day from some little 8-year-old. Hey, we got to start somewhere. Check this out. You are absolutely surrounded by concrete, steel, glass. Phenomenal, really. You don't really expect London to look like this until you get closer and you realise quite what they've built. I used to walk past this even all the time. Look at the exterior elevators. Hey dudes. Something out of Robocop. Well, I was considering doing miles for the video today, but look at these air vents. I'm not sure I'm going to have to. Literally everywhere you turn, you've got an excellent sight. There's your Gherkin. Things are still getting built. I'm not sure how many new structures we need down here, but as London is so financial, apart from the Docklands, this area is pretty much where it's at. I mean, that is an absolute juxtapose, right? You couldn't get more opposite. See this building poking here in the centre of your screen? This is the Sky Garden. So anyone that fancies coming to London, make sure you're getting well in advance when you're looking to get tickets. There's a free bar at the top, but it offers the best panoramic views of London down in this area, all over the City of London, down towards the Thames. I can't get over this building. It is incredible. You don't realise quite the size and scale of the buildings down here in the City of London until you take a little stroll and you get absolutely dwarfed by everything that you're surrounded by. I'm sorry if this is making anyone feel a bit icky. Look at that. How do you clean it? How are you cleaning that? Phenomenal. I feel within the first sort of 5 minutes of the video already, this has already become a modern history tour. It's not really anything old, is there? The odd church or two, but pretty much the architecture just speaks for itself, huh? You know what, guys, while we're here, might as well have a look inside the Lloyd's building, this mental structure here. They've got a reception and a gift shop. You never know, we could get a little lucky and go inside and use one of those awesome glass elevators for like Charlie and Charlie in the Chocolate Factory. Right, I've got a big fat no, but that's okay. We're not allowed in, no public access without authorization. Eh? Pretty cool, but I won't be able to show you that today. If you guys want to visit the Sky Garden up the top there, then you need to get online, preferably weeks before, to try and get your tickets, to secure tickets. I'll put a link in the description, but also you're best off trying on the morning, see if they've got extra tickets. There's limited availability at the moment, I hear, because they've got a broken elevator, so that's not going to help anything. But here we go. Let me show you this, a little bit of Victorian London, nestled in medieval and super modern. Still can't get out of this building. Industrial Victorian London, hiding down the back here. This is Leadenhall Market. So it's a very popular place. It's a good time to come actually, just before everyone kicks out, comes down for a drink. It's full of apparel shops, but it's an old open Victorian market where you would have come down, purchased your old lace, and maybe, definitely not your Mexican grill or your tortillas, that's for sure. Let me show you around. Look at the architecture. I mean, that is, imagine that at Christmas, can't you? That is amazing. It's probably what you're thinking when you think of London, right? Kind of Victorian-esque, Jack the Ripper. Just look down at the floor, for example. Amazing. It's pretty much filled with bars, crying babies, and just awesome architecture still. Just look up. Don't forget to do that when you're down this way. Buns from home. They weren't lying, look at that. Your Dubai chocolate. $5.45. Do you know what? That's alright. I pay more than that in Disney. Tip, don't always look up. This stone was laid the 28th day of June 1881. Anyway, if you fancy something to eat or just putting your nose in Leadenhall Market, you won't be disappointed. Look at that, exactly opposite. Everyone needs a posh porn in their life. Posh porn. This isn't the best example, but this is what I love about London. When you're walking, your nooks and cranny, this is where you want to be. For this garden. My brother got married somewhere close to here recently, and somewhere similar. It's given me good memories. And you're not going to know about the county house or tiny little pubs similar to these barrels. London to a T, this is. And then why not turn around, head down somewhere else, and get lost again. You won't. Well, you certainly won't run out of things to do when you're just wandering around off the beaten track here in London. Look at this, look, just got to turn the camera around. Again, where am I going? If you are planning to visit anytime too soon, London, our fine city, the city in the city, and the whole surrounding city, just make sure you've got one of these currency cards where you won't get exchange rate charges on. You can just tap your card, jump on a bus, jump on the underground. Elevator access denied. Hey, but they're having fun. Crazy. Right, well, showing you some of the modern sites down here. The Gherkin up there. Let me show you something a little bit more historical, in between sort of periods, and a little bit more macabre. Just down this quiet little side street here, on the edge of Oldgate, where Oldgate meets the City of London, is a little square. But just tucked neatly around the side here is a little plaque that describes why this little square, Mitre Square, is quite so famous. Partially for the Holy Trinity that was founded in 1108, but probably more so for the discovery of the body of Catherine Eddowes. She was Jack the Ripper's fourth victim. In the early hours of 30th September 1888, the body of Catherine Eddowes, victim of the notorious Whitechapel murders, was more commonly known as Jack the Ripper, was discovered here in Mitre Square. If you step back from the plaque in the centre of your screen here, we'll see quite how tranquil it is here. Obviously things were different in Victorian London, completely different. This has all been remodelled. I found a little bit more information. It says here, PC Watkins finds the body. At 1:44 AM, PC Watkins turned out of Leadenhall Street, that's just where we were, along Mitre Street, which I showed you 2 minutes ago, and veered right into Mitre Square. He was working as a night watchman. Come to my assistance. Here is another woman cut to pieces. You can imagine in Victorian London, with the story, she was the fourth victim. Quite how much of a fine that would have been. I found visual prints here, photographs that show that the layout of the square has actually changed from quite a few years ago. And if we head back down to the school, we'll show you exactly where the body was found, although I don't think you can quite reach the area, but we'll get as close as we can. Got a bit of an insane amount of noise, but this wall wasn't here. This was further back. Further down here, it was a resting area where you could sit before they put this children's playground into the Aldgate School. Just tucked inside here, roughly where that tree is, was where you would have found the body of Catherine Eddowes, just literally here. This is what we like to see still in London, the old traditional Victorian public. This will be probably pumped with customers within an hour or so. Like a idiot fella that I literally just met that said I was filming in a school and said if you knew your history, you'd shut up. Right guys, you remembered me saying about the Sky Garden. This is your queue. Alright, you're going to be here a little while, but, I mean, come on. It's definitely worth it. Look at that. Look at the curve. And you can see right from the top across the rest of London. That is a marvel of architecture, look at that. But anyway, make sure you got your ticket before you head down here. It's something we do very good here in London, is queue. But you definitely be involved in one when you come here. Stretches all the way down the end here. There you go, you can see the Sky Garden towering from pretty much everywhere around here. This is an area called Monument. Now, there's a reason this area is called Monument, like all places, you know, bridges and what have you. Down here, if we follow left and pan around, in the centre of your screen, up in the sunlight, the most annoying shot ever, look, for the sunlight, is a huge monument. Now you can climb that monument for £7. Well, why would you want to do that, you're thinking? Let's tuck underneath here, try and get a better shot. That is the Great Fire of London's monument. I'll show you a little bit more detail here. It's huge. You can actually climb inside of it. There's 311 steps. Here we go, we can see just tucked behind the sun now, look. 311 steps and home to many pigeons. You circle around this side of the monument, you'll see here is an entrance door, currently closed, will reopen at 2 o'clock. But if you fancy it, 311 steps later, you can climb to Christopher Wren's marvel of a design, the monument for the Great Fire of London. Right, well, it's currently 1:26. It doesn't open until 2 o'clock, so I think we're going to keep going. But another day for another trip. The monument is actually covered in Latin. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I certainly can't read that. But if you look at this plaque here, you take a little still, you'll be able to read what's actually written on the side of the monument. So it says here, the monument was designed by Robert Hooke, FRS, in consultation with Sir Christopher Wren. It was built 1671 to 1677 on the site of St Margaret's Fish Street Hill to commemorate the Great Fire of London in 1666. The fire burnt from 2 to the 5th of September, devastating 2/3 of the city and destroyed 200 homes, 87 churches and 52 livery company halls. Yeah. Look at this, literally everything in the area has the same name as its surrounding structure. The Monument Pub. If you walk back eastbound from the monument, you'll actually come to Pudding Lane. So only, wow, 50 metres from where the monument stands is where the bakery was, where the actual fire started. But here's Pudding Lane. It's quite a long street, so I don't know the exact origins of where the baker's is. Definitely in this region. And that was the origin of all that devastation. I know your time is probably limited here in London, but honestly, the best way to see it, and it isn't too difficult, just stay on your feet. Just get your steps in, get your head up, and have a look around, because honestly, Underground's brilliant. It'll get you from A to B everywhere you need to go, but if you do want to see the sights, and you do have a little more time, just walk it. It's way more beneficial. And just next to the monument is this awesome craft house called the Hydrant. Apparently it serves the best fish and chips. Well, we'll see about that, but if I had a few more of these hydrants around, this thing probably wouldn't have needed to be built, would it? Could put that fire out. Oh my, Robin will be impressed. I didn't know we had Chipotles here. Okay, if this is a proper Chipotle, looks it. Might have to get something later. Yeah, we have a hit. Alright, we definitely have a Chipotle here in the UK. I'm going to let my son know. The Royal Philatelic. So I just saw Bank Station, meaning the Royal Bank of England, or the Bank of England, is round here somewhere. Covered with lorries at the moment. Welcome to London. Do you know what's annoying me a little bit? Not the noise of the bus, the fact that I can never find a bin. Obviously, atmosphere doesn't bother me quite as much. What does is the fact I can't find a bin. They just don't exist anymore in London. I cannot find a bin, but I have found a bank. Did not expect to see this either outside the bank. Oh, they've stopped. Oh, come on, boys, keep going. Here we go. Don't know what we're waiting for, but they're quite impressive, these two. The Royal Exchange. Oh, she blows. I've never been here. I've all seen it on the news. Whenever we get in some financial crisis in this city, or in this country, this is the first thing they show. Yeah, it's a very grand area actually. There's definitely a bit of money here. Right, without reading the inscription there, which is clearly on the camera, any guesses who this is? That's the Duke of Wellington. What a brilliant thing to have. Outside such an awesome looking building. Very Roman. Well, I might be completely wrong about the historical side of things these days, because it looks like the Royal Exchange is now a Fortnum and Mason. Fortnum and Mason. Quite the building though. Well, there may not be any physical money in here anymore, but it is still amazingly impressive. What an incredible place to have a business. Look at these stairwells. Amazing. Well, I'm glad I popped my head in here. And as you exit the other end, onto the north side, you've got this amazing selection of teas and the actual shop tucked in the corner here. And then typically London, a very grand exit or entrance, depending which way you came. Definitely have to do some history on that place, because as far as I was concerned, every time I saw that on BBC, like I said earlier, I thought that was actually the bank. Okay, well, every day is a learning day. Here is the bank, literally next to the Royal Exchange, here on the left, and on the right hand side, the Bank of England. Okay, that's pretty grand. Pretty big building. I love these, look. You get these everywhere in the city of London. They've got their own bollards. This fella's jealous. It's not quite as grand, is he? Look at that. It's like a lighthouse. It looks like the Royal Exchange might actually be older than you think. Look, it looks near Victorian, 1841, and above it here, 33 H. Botterill and Sons. So obviously the outside of that building was used for business for years before I thought. If you just lend me a couple of million, I will be sorted for life. Look at this fella, maybe he can help us out. believe it. Found a bin. Thank you, London. Just by the side of the Royal Bank is Threadneedle Street. It runs down one side. Look at this underground. I'm not even sure if I need to use the underground today. But what an entrance. And what a time I'm having, just literally exploring, just getting a little bit lost. But now I know my bearings a bit better. Hopefully next time I visit I can show people around. I know where I'm going. And that is a typical door on the side of the bank. Right, you are not getting in there. I wonder how thick that is. 16 miles of cast iron. Who knows? City of London, Ward of Walbrook. That sounds more like a witch or wizard. The Wizard of Walbrook. Well, I'm watching them and they're watching me. The edge of the bank. Gorgeous design. Old meets new. Within the hecticness of this city still lies brilliant examples of medieval, Victorian, Edwardian, all the different periods architecture. And this is literally right next to the Bank of England. Something I didn't expect to see. It's also not every day you see a grand piano next to a pulpit inside any church, let alone one as small as this. Just another reminder to always look up. Look, Founders Hall. It was rebuilt after the Great Fire in 1666. You're going to get these plaques everywhere. You just got to look up and see them. And again, look, another reminder. Get off the beaten track. This was laid by our Prime Minister, the Right Honourable Edward Heath, MBE, on the 9th of March 1973 to mark the rebuilding of the Founders Court for Brown, Shipley and Co. I very much doubt he would have lifted that in place, but just to say, he's been here, touch it, bit of history. What else I've learnt today, Bank ABC, Punjab National Bank and the Bank of China, right next to the Bank of England. So clearly we know why this area and its underground is called Bank. Look at this for a climb out of the lavatories, this old pub. It's the sort of stuff you see if you come to the right place here in London. Climb these steps from the cellar. Now we've got to find everyone. What an absolutely excellent place this is. This will be packed soon. The Pavilion, down near St Paul's. It's an excellent pub. Climbing these stairs, you can see why it's called the Pavilion. Look at that. So we've witnessed a smaller example of Sir Christopher Wren's architecture, and here's probably the biggest in the whole of the City of London, St Paul's Cathedral. Let's get in for a little closer view here. That excellently creepy tree. Wow, I mean, look at the scale of that. You can't quite even get it in the frame. But this really is one of the most beautiful churches we've got here in England. And look at the setting it's in. Beautiful. It's about 320 feet up, I think. 1700s church. Amazing architecture. Absolute scale of this. Way down. That's about 500 steps up there. 500 steps to the top of that tower, and I've still never been. £24 puts me off a little bit, but it is one of the most breathtaking churches here in England, if not the. Famous people have got married here as well. We had Charles and Diana. Everyone knows Charles and Diana. Up on the main gate up here. I'm going to show you. Even buses when I was a kid were the same as this old fella. This old diesel clanger. Things have changed since. You literally just hop on the back, take a ticket, Sit down and wait till you get to your destination. Look at that. Now it's just a sightseeing tour. I'm on the west side of the cathedral now. This is your main entrance. Gives you a little bit of information here on the sign. Look, you can take in the absolute scale, the behemoth. I mean, I've been to St. Peter's Basilica in Rome, and I don't know, I think this is pretty much the same size, if not bigger. Newer, but possibly bigger. Right, if we climb these steps, I'm not doing the 500 steps today. I can't, not with this arm. It's getting a little bit sore. I'm going to have to put the sling back on, I reckon. It's been off for a little while, but it's been good to get some sort of physio into it. You should never sort of sit there and just hope that things get better right when you have, hello pigeon, when you have any surgery done. But check out these doors. Princess Diana and Prince Charles, the Queen's son, stood in front of these to get married. Woof. Yeah, huge. They would have walked straight through these doors, and as you can see, they keep on going. I won't want to open those by hand. Straight through the middle, and then you can see right down inside of the cathedral through these doors, this main entrance. Look at that. Can't believe people would graffiti this. You're surely going to hell if you do that on God's property. Evie, I am always watching. But yeah, look, what a wonderful floor. You'll recognise this if you look at any of the pictures from Charles and Diana's wedding. This is exactly where they stood, facing out here, with this view. Incredible. I believe this is actually Queen Anne. I mean, it looks like Victoria, but it says replica of the statue of Queen Anne. But that may be Victoria. Anyone in the comments, just let me know, because I guess this isn't my biggest forte of history, but look how peaceful this place is. Even in Friday, summertime, kids are off. Beautiful spot, just come and grab a bit of lunch. Anyway, if you want to visit, it's about £24, but that will take you up to the top of the stairs. All 500 of them. Bring a packed lunch. You might want it when you get up there, I can tell you that or a cup of tea. Particularly the City of London has these huge guide maps to at least tell you where you are. You are here, apparently. Now you just got to find where you want to go, look. I managed to reach my favourite part of London. St Paul's behind me, but if we turn around here and head down, we're at the River Thames. That's the Millennium Bridge. If you 80s kids will get the reference there. Oh, my phone's going.